What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. This is the Sports Affiliation Betting Collaboration. This is episode 5. Glad to be with you today. Thank you for spending time with us. This show is, we got several fantasy shows. This show is going to be strictly about betting. We're going to be looking at bets at hand all throughout the year, trying to bring you some props, bring you some parlays, bring you some same game parlays, and see what else we can whip up over here with the madness. Joining me as always is SoCal Ball Nerd. How are you doing today, Evan?
I am doing good. IDP Iggy, or Iggy the Unit Stacker, here on the betting collaboration. We got to stack those units. So it's week 1, man. I couldn't sleep, man. I'm like a kid in a candy store, bro. Up all night looking at different things, trying to find that angle, right? So I'm excited, man. We're going to have, 17 weeks of betting action. Then we'll get into the playoffs, which is a long way away. So I know that we may have some other guests joining us throughout the year. That'll be fun, too. It is week 1. Like Iggy said, we're going to get into some different bets. Iggy is the IDP master. I know he's got some tackle props for you. I got some offensive props. We got some gameplays, some parlays. But one important thing, of course, when betting is betting smart. I mean, if you want to jump on and throw $5 on a parlay, try to hit it, that's great too. But a lot of people trying to stack money, right? We're trying to win. We're trying to make this something where we're earning an income, or even just trying to make it something where we're profitable during a sporting season that we like to bet on, right? All different things. But our goal is to help you do that and help you do that the right way. That means having a bankroll, having a unit size that you bet on certain bets, having a goal in mind. So with that said, Iggy, why don't you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, and he broke it down for you. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. You can see them right there on the bottom. Better Vision. If you're like Evan or like me, we bet on multiple books and you want to be able to see them all on that day. Like, I don't want to click on 4 or 5 things and do the metric scan in. Like, I want to know how my bets are doing right now. And you can get on Better Vision, get right there, load all your bets. Not only that, if you play in a lot of fantasy leagues, got one, ESPN, NFL, Sleeper, my fantasy league. You can have them all looked at right there. You can look through like, oops, I still got Andrews in. I need to take him out because he's out this week. All right, you can go there, do that. Then, of course, the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Go download that app as well. Nothing but fantasy football talk there. You can check out videos that are exclusively there from us, as well as other people, and just talk fantasy football. You don't have to worry about robots. You don't have to worry about scams. You don't have to worry about anything. So go down there and check that out. We'll be there as well. So, yeah, get it back to the basics here, Evan. The 3 things I think that need to be known with betting, or the 3 most important terms, are definitely bankroll, unit, and goal. Okay, so I'll talk about the unit and the goal, and you can talk about the bankroll. Okay, you heard Evan say it. We're not just out here just trying to give money to the bookies. That is not the point. Evan and I are profitable bettors, and we want you to be profitable bettors with us. Okay, when you give money to the bookies, that's known as a recreational bettor. All right, I love to recreate. I just went kayaking. You can see I'm still in the truck. We're making the show happen. Recreation is fun. It's fun to bet regardless, but we want to be profitable. All right. We want to get that goal. The way you do that is you set a good goal. Okay, I've got 40 units to start the football season. Actually, it's my betting season. I carry this all the way over through basketball. Of course, I'm, blind bet on the Padres all summer long. Don't do that. You want to stay away from that. But when you get to a certain point, you just got to have it roll over. And my goal is always to double my unit count at some point and then withdraw it. And now we're back to where we started. We're at $0. So now if we lose every unit we haven't lost any money, okay? And I break this up into 3 goals. I try to get, so I'm at 40 units. I like to try to get to 60 units. At 60 units, I'll withdraw it back to 40. Now we just got to get half again. And now we're at 0. So at any point after that, if we want to profit, we take it out and we got it to go. You can have your own goal. Maybe your goal is to hit a really big parlay. You don't worry about profit per se. You just want to hit real big. Okay, let's make that goal. And we're going to try to make that happen for you. Okay. Maybe your goal is I want to double it in 1 week and I want to get out. All right, let's do that. Maybe your goal is to, get 100 units. Okay, that's going to be hard, but let's do it. Okay, let's set these goals and let's realistically try to achieve them, knowing that we have 52 weeks to do there, 17 weeks with the NFL. Okay, and then with the unit, you hear us say it can be $1, it can be $10,000. It's whatever you want to divide your bankroll into. Okay, but that's how we're going to talk about our bets. We're going to talk about them in units. So you might hear me say, yeah, I've got a parlay going. I'm going to bet half a unit on this, Evan. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm betting half of my standard amount. If my standard amount's $20, then I'm dropping it down to $10 for that bet. Okay. So that is what a unit is. Sir, would you please explain what a bankroll is and anything else you feel like we need to tell everybody before we get to our bets this Sunday?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, again, back with those basics. I mean, a bankroll is going to be the total amount of money that you've got on your sports betting site. But a bigger picture to me than that is it's also an amount of money that you're comfortable being able to lose. Okay. Like losing is a part of betting. So if you've got $500 in your bankroll, but it's 250 of it is money that you need, you don't want to do that. Change that down to a $200 bankroll or whatever it is, just in case you do go back down, because sometimes that's what happens. But a bankroll is going to be that total amount. What's up, Coach? Happy to have you, brother.
What's up, Coach?
So, you got $500 in your account and say, your unit, say you got, break it down. Let's say you got $100 in your account and you want to do, $5 a bet. So that's fine. However you want to do it, we'll just make it easy in that context. So one unit for you would be $5. So if you've got a big parlay that you want to hit and Iggy's saying, hey, go half of a unit on this parlay or a quarter of a unit of that $5 unit is going to be $1.25. Exactly. Half's going to be $2.50. So you can just kind of extrapolate that over whatever it is that your unit size would be. So bankroll what you're comfortable in your account losing as a whole, figuring out the unit size of that, the percentage you want, 2%, 3%, 5%, breaking that unit down into what, a quarter, a half, even 3/4, whatever you want to do there. So when you hear us talking about that, you'll be able to understand in the terms of what you bet money-wise. And if you have a question, always shoot us a comment, drop it in, ask us what your bankroll is, what you're thinking of doing. We'll give you an answer,
Yeah, thank you. We're happy that you're here too as well, Joshua, man. Yeah. And like Evan said, yeah, we got the sports affiliation. That's at the Sports Affili. You can find us on the Fantasy Football Advice Network under the sports affiliation. IDP_Iggy there for me as well. Also on the X there. Evan, what is that? Is it exactly how why don't you just tell them what your X is too so people can find you?
It's at SoCal Ball Nerd. It's all obviously one word on Twitter, of course, just spaced out here so everybody can read it, make it a little easier there. But you can find me there on Twitter anytime. Shoot me a message. Then, of course, the Sports Affiliation. We do have our website, thesportsaffiliation.com. Articles. Iggy's got some great stuff that's been pumping out. Other guys are pumping articles out. We got some great women joining us, having some shows. Hit up the YouTube, the Sports Affiliation on YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, and share. There's going to be content coming out all year for you. So I think we got the basics covered here, Iggy. I think what everybody wants to know is what we want to bet on in these football games today. So, yeah. I mean, let's go right to some straight action. I know you got a couple straight bets for us on some of these games. So what are you looking at first?
Yeah, and I placed this bet, a little bit before the news of Christian Watson being out. But I still think Green Bay is going to roll Chicago. It was at plus 100. It's probably a little bit better than that right now, honestly, with that news. But I just don't believe Chicago's lines improved that much. I don't think their defense is going to put it together. And I just trust this coaching staff to still be able to beat the Chicago Bears. I don't know that Matt LaFleur has lost to the Chicago Bears. I don't think he has. So I think he's got an advantage there. That's at plus 100. I'm putting a unit on it. And then there was a special. Like I said, I take advantage of some of these week one specials if you get them. And I just took some straight money to build the unit. So when we're talking about stacking the unit, a bankroll builder bet, I like to keep my bets no more than negative 200. That would be 1 to 2, I guess, or 2 to 1. You put in $2, you get $1. If that's the way you want to do it, there's all kinds of ways you can look at your bet. I use the American Standard. That's how I'm going to talk. However you feel comfortable with making it, that's fine. All right. So it was Jacksonville, and if they're up 10, you win the bet regardless. I won this with Detroit on Thursday. They were up 7 and I won. They end up winning the money line, but the Chiefs were also up 7, so they won that. So the bookies gave out money to both ends, and we're just going to take Jacksonville here against the Colts Evan. I think that Anthony Richards is going to have a couple, rookie mistakes to open up his season. I don't know what they have going on over there offensively, but I know Jacksonville's good. I know they were one of my futures. I know they're going to win the AFC South, and I'm starting it with them. They're even one of my survivor picks. So I have a lot of faith in Jacksonville right now, and that's at negative 205. There was a max of $25 on that boost on DraftKings. You place whatever. If your unit's smaller than that, no problem. If your unit's larger than that, I'm sorry, but you cap off at 25, and you're still going to get about 13.20 or about $13 back. All right, so I think it's a safe bet. Those are my two straight bets as far as what I got today. Evan, what about you?
Well, I too like the Packers, but I won't talk about that too much other than the fact that was the only bet that I placed like 4 days ago before things started. I love the plus money on it. I'm a plus money guy. I'm always looking for a plus money bet that I like just as much as I like a minus 200 bet, right? I mean, if I feel that good about it, I'm going to place it. I know the offense is out a little bit there. I think we lost Iggy. We'll get him back in here. But outside of that, I mean, I definitely got to go with my Chargers. They definitely are a team that can choke at times. They are favored to win this game against the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins missing the right tackle in Armstead. I think that Bosa and Mack playing together, something they didn't get to do a lot of the time last year. They're going to be able to get after Tua a little bit there, make life tough. We saw last year that Herbert was able to get the ball down the field, put up points on the Dolphins. I don't see why that would stop this season. You got a healthy Mike Williams, healthy Keenan. You got Eckler. I think Herbert's poised to have a huge year. I do like the Chargers. They were at minus 160. I think I've seen it jump up anywhere to maybe minus 190 today. But if we're going the money line there, like I said, I grabbed it at minus 160. So I do like the Chargers to get it done. I know they're favored by 3. It's the kind of game that they'll probably win exactly by 3. So I'm not touching the spread on that. Staying in the AFC West, I do also like the Broncos. I think that offensively they're much better. I think the additions they made on the offensive line, they've got Javonte coming back. I think he's a tough matchup for the Raiders out of the backfield. I don't think the Raiders have really improved that defense much. I just don't see them doing anything new. I'm not impressed with Oakland's offense. I believe Las Vegas offense. Gotta love that, Same with the Chargers, right? People moving around. I think Denver's defense, we saw last year, right? They gave up less than 20 points in, I think, 10 or more games. I believe they'll do that again today. I don't think Las Vegas is going to move the ball too much on them. I know Jacobs can move the ball and run, but Denver's stout up front. So I like Denver, too, on that money line. I think it's a great bet. They're minus 190, so we are under that minus 200 range. Those are probably the two I like the best. I am on the Falcons. I think Falcons-Panthers is going to be probably a pretty low-scoring game with both those quarterbacks being young and inexperienced, but I do think the Falcons have a little bit more offense on their side. Right now, I guess I would say I trust Ritter more than Bryce Young. I think that offensive line of Carolina is going to struggle. They do have a good defense. It's what kept them in games last year. But the Falcons, I think, are a nice money line bet as well. They were at minus 180 this morning when I saw it. Oh, we got Iggy back, I think. There we go. Iggy, you good?
Yeah, sorry. Apparently, a message came on my phone too hot. I guess we gave them too hot of a bet right there for that. I apologize for that, guys. I'm back though.
No worries. Were you able to hear what I was saying or no?
No, sir. But just keep rolling with it.
No, you're good, man. I already broke it down. I talked about the Chargers money line. I talked about the Broncos money line, and then I also mentioned the Falcons money line. That was kind of the 3 that I broke down there. So.
I'm glad you mentioned the Falcons. I got them in 2 of my survivor picks as well. Another rookie quarterback, wide receivers banged up, DJ Shark banged up. I think they're saying Adam Thielen's going to go. But I was looking at Bijan anytime touchdown. Have you told anybody about the ATS bets yet? That's kind of a fan favorite. I know you were hot on them last year. What do you got for people right there?
Whew, man, the spread, huh?
Oh yeah, against the spread. I thought ATS was anytime.
Oh, anytime touchdown? Anytime touchdown, sure. You know what? I was hot on those last year, but I actually did not look at those this week. I was so focused on prop bets and so focused on my money line and spread. I didn't even do a touchdown bet this week.
Okay, so what? So you went on the straight bets. Were any of those against the spread, or were those all just money line bets, or how were those that you were taking?
So I have, well, in one of the parlays, I can get into that when we mention those, but I dropped the Commanders down a little bit because I don't like -7.5. I mean, a touchdown in the NFL is a lot, and week one brings a lot of question marks, like
Absolutely.
it's, I like the Jags, right? But it's a division game. It's on the road. I don't know what to think of the Colts. They could lose by 20, but somehow they could keep it close, So, I mean, the bets I think I like the most there. Obviously, the Packers. I mean, you can take the money line, of course, but if you want to take, I think there might be even 2.5 now. But again, I would take the straight bet on that. I do like the Seahawks. Seahawks -5.5. It's under a touchdown. It's even under that 6 point there, touchdown without the extra point. I like that they're getting 5.5 there. Seattle's offense is great. The Rams haven't done anything to improve. No Cup. I think the Seahawks should be able to handle that, even though it's a division game. So I do like the Seahawks -5.5. That's probably my favorite spread bet. I brought up the Chargers with that. It's on -3 exactly. The Chargers are the kings of pushing on -3. So I'm not touching that bet. I do think, though, with the matchup, I talked about Mack and Bosa being able to get after the quarterback without Armstead in there. But the Chargers find a way to keep things close. So I want to take that bet, but the -3, I just feel like, I mean, you can take it down to 2.5. I love that. You want to go -2.5 on the Chargers, just buy that half a point, change the odds a little bit. I do like that bet. Other than that, though, man, week one, I like to feel it out. I want to see how things play. I want to see how guys play. I want to see the snap share. I want to see how the offense moves, what happens on the lines, and then I just feel like it gives a much better idea going forward, with those spread numbers. So
I agree. And then, just as another pro tip I like to tell you is I'm a T spread better. People give me crap about it sometimes, but it's like that's what I do. I trust the bookies. I move the line usually 4 points one way or another, and that's how I bet. And we're going to be doing a lot more of that. But to Evan's point, week one, it's difficult to nail. Last year, I'm not going to lie, I lost 20 something units last year on week one. So, okay, we still ended the NFL season plus 133 units. So it wasn't too bad. But this year, I'm just avoiding that. I'm not going crazy on all the specials. I'm laying some half units here and there. And I'm, let's just watch week one. Like Evan said, let's just watch it. Let's make sure we're still doing the right things. We're going to be able to get everything going after that. Okay, let's get the eye test. Let's look at a little film. Let's let the algorithms pick up and let's see what they're saying. Then I'm going to tease it and I'm going to take it back. All right, so I don't have anything against the spread, but I do want to hit up on some things that you said. Ernest Jones over 6.5 tackles was at -130. He plays for the Rams. I think the Seahawks are going to dominate that game. I don't think Ernest Jones has anybody on the linebacker level that's as good as him tackling for the Rams now, because Bobby Wagner went back to Seattle. He basically got like a free education from a Hall of Famer for 1 year from Bobby Wagner. Now he's going to be expected to do those things for the Rams, be a sideline to sideline tackler. I think he's going to do that easy. I think the Seahawks get up. I think they run the ball a lot. They're probably going to alternate Walker and Charbonnet and, just use those guys up and eat up that clock like Pete Carroll likes to do. So I love Jones there. Then a guy that I have in my top 5 linebackers, you talked about it as well. Carolina, man, Frankie Louvu over 6.5 tackles. That's at -140. Same reasons. I just think Atlanta's going to run. And Louvu is going to have to be there tackling. He had 3 spike weeks last year where he was the leading tackler in the NFL. That's just, I'm trusting him to be the guy. New defensive coordinator, so it is a little risky. You don't know what you're getting into, but the cream rises to the top. Tackling is just, as instinctive as any part of football as you can get. So what I've actually done, Evan, is I've combined those, and it got me plus 203. I'll put a half a unit on it. It still gives me a unit return if it hits. You got to love that, okay? So there's a perfect example of my parlay, half a unit, 2 leg, nothing crazy. We're keeping it at a primate, upright walking parlay here, 2 legs. I feel very confident with it. I got another parlay, but what else do you have for everybody?
Man, I love Ernest Jones. That's for sure. I think, too, just a note on that, man, he was still dropping in IDPs and drafts. I feel like the value there is huge. But one thing I know that you mentioned, and just for people to make sure they heard there, is talking about guys being on the field a lot on defense, right? High-powered offense on the other side, stud linebacker on the defensive side that's going to spend a lot of time on the field instinctively. That's your tackle guy, right? That's that angle that you take. You're going to get a lot of that out of Iggy this year, and you're going to see it. So look for that. Look for guys that are on the field a lot against high-powered offenses. For me, I'm going to a couple running backs here, that I definitely enjoy the pass catching backs. That's one of my favorite things here. I'm looking at Rachaad White. I like his catch prop and I like his yard prop. He's over 17.5 yards. It's minus 110 on FanDuel. Over 2.5 receptions at minus 110 on DK. Rachaad White, man, 50 catches last year in 17 games. Only 8 of those were starts. Still had 50 catches. He's a pass-catching machine. They're playing against Minnesota, who has a high-powered offense. We can kind of flip that defensive script the other way around. Minnesota's probably going to put up a lot of points. Fournette's gone. Rachaad White's the guy. Tampa's going to be playing from behind. I like White to hit both those numbers there. I think that Tampa Bay is going to have to throw the ball a little bit. I know that, you've got Vaughn there. They've got Tucker in the wings. They brought in Chase Edmonds. Who knows what any of those guys are going to do? Rachaad White's going to get his chance. In limited time, he was getting almost 3 catches a game last year. So I don't see how he won't get those 3 today. I think when they're behind 2, Minnesota's playing back. So if he doesn't hit that 17.5 early, he's going to get a chance to hit it late. So both of those, great bets to me. Going to another running back. As much as I like the Packers, I do like Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
I like his yards prop. He's played the Packers 3 times. I mean, he had over 100 yards one time. He had 97 yards another. He had 38 yards in one game, but it was only on 4 carries. Obviously, Montgomery had 10-plus carries in that game. Green Bay's run defense is still a concern for me. DVOA against the league average on down and distance, right? They're 31st, and they were 7th worst in yards allowed. Herbert's the front runner on that team. I think especially week 1, he's going to get those carries. I got him at over 49.5 at minus 110. I think he's moved up to 52.5, but I did find it at 50.5 on FanDuel. So either way, even 52.5, 3 yards up from what I got it at. I think that's a good spot still. I think the Bears are going to try to run the ball, try to open up that passing game. Green Bay, top 5, top 7 pass defense last year. So, the Bears are going to try to run the ball first, right? So Herbert's going to get his chances. I don't maybe expect a monster game, but I think hitting over that 50 yards is definitely achievable for him.
Dude, I love it. And I do love White. JC and I talked about how Minnesota can't stop anything in the pass game. White's probably going to see a lion's share of targets or, volume at the running back. So that is going to be amazing. Khalil Herbert can definitely do it. It seems like the Packers, if you get past the second level on them, it's like hard to, the secondary is usually spread out and man coverage. So there's just these huge gaps over there. So I love that as well. Coach, you said you wanted to know the Ernest Jones line. It's at 6.5 at negative 130 is what I got it at yesterday. Go hop on it. If it moved up one, take a look. Another one we're looking at is I think it's Montez Rice for the Saints. Yesterday it was unreal. I'm in a tackle prop group that I've been a part of for 2 years. We saw it. It was at 7.5. He's the 3rd string linebacker behind Pete Werner and Demario Davis. So we all hammered the under there. It was at evens. The last I checked, they moved it. They moved the odds, and then they moved the tackle count. They moved the tackle count to 6.5. I still think it's good. If you want to lay it, go take a look at that. So that's my other defensive tackle prop. And then I just got one more parlay for us. And you kind of hit on it. I kind of like it. It's this is good. We talk about betting before, but we don't really lay out each other's bets before the show. So what I've got right now is Jacksonville, Washington, Green Bay, all on the money line, no spreads. That's at plus 285. I'll put a half a unit on that as well. I'm feeling good about it. You already talked about Washington. They may not be able to cover that spread, but you felt confident winning. Jacksonville against the rookie quarterback as well. I don't even know who the quarterback in Arizona is yet. It doesn't matter. Washington's still going to beat them. But then Green Bay, we talked about good chance. That's probably the gamble on the leg. I feel like the other two hit relatively easy. So if we can just read that on, not always smart to put on a parlay with a money line bet. If you have one riding, just ride with it. But I placed these at different times on different books. I got a little bit of an advantage, but I gave you guys the number that I got it at 285, and I got it boosted up to 310 actually. So take advantage of those boosts. If you can get a 3-leg parlay in there like that, a lot of times there's a minimum for certain odds or certain amount of legs, but just do it. Be smart with the money though. Don't go willy nilly on parlays. They're harder to hit. It's hard to hit one bet. You just try to put 2 and 3, 4, 5. You're asking for a lot of things to go your way on one bet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Evan, what else do you got? You got another parlay or same game parlay or anything to?
I got a couple
talk about?
same game parlays. I do also want to mention we talked about the teaser, right? We talked about getting those extra points. So 6-point teaser, 2 teams, 6-point teaser. So like the Packers are +1. If you tease that, they're going to become +7. The Commanders were -7 when 7.5 now. They were -7. Tease that the other way, it's -1. I did tease that. I took the Packers and the Commanders and teased them both. So the Commanders are down to -1, Packers +7. Because if the Bears do find a way to win that game, I definitely think it's going to be one of those field goal type games that they squeak out. Why not take it there, right? I have the straight bet on Green Bay. And the Commanders, I said a touchdown is a lot. Should they beat the Cardinals by 10 or more? Yes, but for everybody, that's a lot of points in the NFL. I know we see bad matchups and it's like, 10, no problem. It's a problem. Trust me, it's a problem. We'll see all year teams winning games. The Ravens winning the game, but not covering the 9 today, maybe. The Commanders winning, but squeaking it out. It's just what happens throughout the NFL. I promise if you track that, you will see it. So don't get fooled by those large spreads and thinking, no problem. What do you think of that teaser?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's really smart to do it. I don't think Chicago can pull away. I don't think they have the defense to pull away by more than a touchdown. So barring like something crazy, like a special teams touchdown or something, that's really safe. And then Washington, just putting it down. Like I said, I'll put them on the money line. They should dominate Arizona. I don't know what Arizona's going to do offensively to be able to put up points, but you always try to account for unaccountable variables, right? That's one thing we preach over here at TSA. You can plan for a lot. We'll plan for the unaccountable thing and tease that line down or tease it one way or another. All right. But yeah, what's your same game parlay, man? And we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, so let's stick with the Commanders in that spot. Again, mentioning the 7.5 is kind of a lot there, right? So I dropped it down. I got 3 legs here. I got the Commanders -5.5. I think 6 is a nice number there. Get it under that touchdown. I got Antonio Gibson over 2.5 receptions.
I love it.
He hit that in 9 of 16 games last year. 5 of the other games he was at 2. He's a pass catching back. Think you want to get Howell comfortable. You got Bieniemy there. We know what he did with McKinnon and other guys in Kansas City. Williams that was there. He makes pass catchers even better. He makes guys that you don't know pass catchers, right? So I expect him to easily hit that number. And Arizona been the worst team against tight ends, not just last year, but pretty much the last 2 years. Healthy Logan Thomas, been burned many a times by Logan Thomas, but he is healthy at least to start the season. 18.5 total yards. I like that. I think that's pretty achievable for him. So Gibson over 2.5 catches, Thomas over 18.5 yards, Commanders -5.5, +540.
3-leg +540.
3-leg +540.
What are you putting on it? You putting a unit on it?
I just put a half a unit.
Half a unit. I love it.
I got another half unit. I'll do this one quick. I already took the Broncos money line. I got Javonte Williams over 1.5 catches, which is at -170. I think he'll get more than that. You could probably buy that up to 2.5, even 3.5. If you're feeling risky, take that by itself. But I just put it in the parlay. And then my boy Marvin Mims over 41.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
That's +370. I know the weather's changed a little bit there. They're talking about some late showers, but the wind's supposed to be low, and it's supposed to be fourth quarter showers. So, I mean, if Mims still needs that come the fourth quarter, probably wasn't a good bet to begin with. Right? Yeah. So I already took that. But I think, Russell Wilson, tied for the league lead in attempts of 20-plus yards downfield last year. Mims is a speedster. Goes down the field. I can see him hitting it in one shot. So I like Mims. I know Judy might be playing, but I don't like Judy playing with that hamstring. But even if he does, Mims to me is going to be the number 2 at some point. You said Cream rises to the crop. I'm not a Sutton believer. I think Mims is going to play well. And I think as the year goes on, he's going to continue to get more time. So that is plus 370 on that 3-leg.
I love it. Got a East Coast game, got a West Coast game, so everybody can be happy about that. I hope the Broncos pull it out. I'm going to be making some more bets, and I just want to let everybody know. Rice of the yeah, it might have been Rice of the Titans. Actually, I'm sorry, I might have said the Saints. I don't know what I said there. It's the Saints game. It's the Titans versus the Saints. So take a look at that there. Yeah, he said he's doubt Judy plays the elevated too from the practice squad. I love it, coach. So yeah, we're gonna try to keep this show at about 30 minutes, sometimes go longer. We will have bets that we also speaking about that you'll have to subscribe from. Right now we're keeping it free. Maybe next week we keep it free. Then after that we're going to try to get some of what our best bets are, get our true best bets, get an unscripted, unedited view of all the bets that we lay. We're going to have it in spreadsheets for you as well. See what units we're putting down on everything, the ones we don't talk about on here even, because you need to track your bets. Okay, I'm telling you right now, Better Vision, you go down there, you can see all your bets. You need to create a spreadsheet off of that every day. All right, this is my bets. This is my bet. This is my bet. You mark the ones you win. You mark the ones you lose. If you're figuring out you won 10 out of 12 of your spread bets, guess what? You need to become a spread better, compared to I've only hit on 4 props out of 12. Okay, well, guess what? You're doing a lot better against the spread. You're going to use this information, and you're going to make yourself a smarter better. And that's what it comes down to, okay? That's our motto here. Bet smart and be lucky. Those are the 2 things that you're going to have to be a better, and some patience. You're going to have to be able to withstand the losses. All right. Because we're going to have some. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay. Evan, anything you'd like to say before we get out? I'm going to, once again, take a look at the sponsors, Better Vision, Fantasy Football Advice Network. Please go sign up for both. Subscribe to us. And then Evan, anything you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it right there. Thank you, Better Vision, Fantasy Football Advice Network. I mean, appreciate you both. I mean, it's great to be able to get on, talk some Week 1 football. You'll continue to hear us kind of hammering away a lot of these strategies and ways to get in and beat the bookies. Iggy talked about, 2 money line bets together to get some plus money. Finding that angle of what works, tracking it and seeing it, because we just find out what we're good at, what we're not good at, right? And other things, uncontrollable variables that we talked about. So we will keep talking about those all year. I mean, keep tuning in. You'll see our bets. We'll track what we won and lost. We'll talk about those. So you'll see how we did Week 1. We'll let you guys know loud and clear how successful we were, or if we had some unlucky days against the bookie. Hopefully it's a good day for both of us. Hopefully it's a good day for everybody out there. Any questions ever on betting or games, please drop us a comment, a message at the sports affiliation. Hit us up on Twitter at IDP Iggy, at SoCal Ball Nerd. Let us know, man. We're here for you. We love you all. Let's have a good Week 1, man.
Love it. As always, bet smart, be lucky, be conscious of your bets. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. Tomorrow, we do have the game show. Evan will be back on there, the only 2-time winner in 26 episodes still. But we're going to try to make it an all TSA thing. Hopefully, we can get Rico. Maybe we can get Coach, get a couple people up there. We're going to be recapping Game 1, looking at Monday Night Football. And guess what? We got the Monday Night Football watch party brought to you by Better Vision. Come check this out. We will be giving away bets. We will be doing some working out, doing some push-ups, some squats in the commercials, trying to get ourselves healthy. It's like a Cardio Fit Club. Tuesday show, we're going to have the schedule up really soon on the Sports Affiliate X account, formerly known as Twitter. So we'll get that out for you guys. Evan, thank you for being here. We might have our guy Joey return next week. Hopefully he'll be back with us, bringing some more bets. We'll see you guys. Get those bets in. We still got about 25 minutes, okay? Bet smart, be lucky. Evan, love you guys. See you soon.
All right, Iggy.